What is up, gamers? Agent Normex is back today for another video, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the top 10 tips every Hypixel Skyblock player needs to know. Now, even if you're an endgame player, this is going to help out everyone from the beginning players just starting out all the way to the endgame players as well. So I do recommend you stick around the whole video to find out all the tips that I'm mentioning, because some of them might surprise you and be able to help you out while you're playing Skyblock. But before we begin the video, if you guys did subscribe, I would extremely appreciate it. We are very close to 200 subs, and it mean the world to me if you guys subscribe for that, and if we can get that done by April, it'd mean the world to me. But with that being said, let us begin the video with tip number 1. Alrighty gamers, for tip number 1, I wanted to go over the importance of minion slots. So minion slots are essentially these little guys here you can place in your island. You start off with being able to have 5 on your island and go all the way up to 29. Right now, I currently have a fishing setup where all my fish minions here are working for me to give me passive XP, and they also give me a little bit of money as well, and some free items too. So yeah, very important, because if you want to have a lot of money in Skyblock, minions are a great way to make passive income. So let me show you guys how you can get more minion slots. If you go to the collection here and go to crafted minions, there's a little redstone torch here that gives you information. So essentially, you craft minions you never crafted before to increase the minion limit on your private island. You can also unlock 5 bonus slots via the community shop in the hub. So for me, I currently have 28 minion slots that I can have on my island at one time. And to get the 29th minion slot, I would need to craft 29 more unique minions. So crafting unique minion shows you here. Let's say mushroom minion. You can see that tier 7 and up is all X. So if I craft all those tiers, I will get a bunch of more new unique minion crafts. And then once I reach 29 more unique minion crafts, I'll have the max amount of minion slots on my island. Keep in mind though, because I have 28, it requires 50 unique minions to craft to unlock the next slot. If you're below 20, it's going to only cost 25. So it's a lot easier to get to the first 20 minion slots than it is to get to the last 9. So it's something just to keep in mind. Now, on top of that, they did say there's 5 minion slots you can get at the hub here. Let me show you. Go ahead and go over to the Elizabeth community shop person here and go to the account and profile upgrades, and you're going to want to max this out as fast as possible. The minion slot upgrade, essentially what you have to do is just click on it and it'll allow you to upgrade it, and it just takes time. So it'll take you about probably a couple weeks to get these, but that's a free 5 minion slots as well. So if you start out with 5 and then you use that, you're already halfway there to 20. And my recommendation is, if you're starting out as a new player, go for 20 minion slots. That is a very good number to have. And if you want to go for more, great, but I would worry about that later. But that's your main objective. Alright guys, so on to tip number 2. Alrighty guys, for tip number 2, I want to go over the best minion setup that you can have. So when you're first starting out, you're going to have 5 minion slots. Once you reach 20, my recommendation is to choose 25 of them. 25% of them should go ahead and be for collection. So if you wanted to max out your wheat collection, I recommend getting 5 wheat minions down and just letting them level up passively, so you don't have to collect this manually. And the rest of them, you're going to want to put starting off as redstone minions. Redstone minions are super important because, as you can see here, one of the collection items that you get is going to be the Titanic accessory bag, which is super duper important for holding talismans, and it's a very nice upgrade. So I do recommend going for that as soon as possible, because as you can see here, I'm able to hold all my talismans in my bag here, and I'll explain what these do in 1 second, but this is very important. So you want to go for that, and you also want to go for cobblestone, because cobblestone will give you this thing known as the Super Compacted 3000 recipe, which is super, super good because it costs 1 enchanted redstone block, 7 stacks of enchanted cobblestone, and basically what it does is it automatically turns any items in minions into their enchanted form. So it's super useful for inventory issues, and yeah, you want to have that on every minion you are using. On top of that, for your best optimal setups, you're going to want to have a enchanted lava bucket, a Super Compacted 3000, and diamond spreading on most setups. Ignore my setup because it's a little bit different. Once you max out your redstone and cobblestone ones, you're going to want to go ahead and place down clay minions. Clay minions are extremely cheap to get, and they produce probably around 1 million coins a day if you have them set up like 15 minion slots maxed out. So they're super great for getting passive income every day for most players. And then you want to go for the snow minions, which give a lot more experience in mining, and on top of that give a lot of money. If you have a full maxed out setup, you can probably get around 2 million coins a day, if not a little bit more, depending on how you max out your setup. So super great options. And then in order to upgrade your minions, like I was saying earlier, just use the money from these two to buy the unique minion slots. So let's say you wanted to level up your cobblestone minion. Instead of just putting it down, just put down these minions and then buy the cobblestone to upgrade the minion or whatever minion you're looking at. So that's kind of the way you can kind of make this process a lot faster, and it'll help you out because you'll continue to make more passive income until you max out the slots. So yeah, that's my tips if you're starting out and what minion you should use. Now I'm going to go on to tip number 3. Alrighty gamers, for tip number 3, I want to go over talismans. Talismans are extremely important in Hypixel Skyblock as they provide you with a lot more permanent damage boosts, which is really important. As you can see here, I have a fire talisman on the Reforged Itchy, which gives me 1 strength and 3 crit damage. If I wanted to change that Reforge, I could talk to this guy, the blacksmith, which is from here from spawn. You put it in here, and you could change it for 250 coins. So now it's on Strange, which gives me a bunch of different stats on it. So obviously, the more of these guys you have, the better, because they're going to give you more overall stats. So it's super helpful to collect as many of these as possible. I'll put a video in the description that talks about how to get most of them in chronological order for you, so it's a lot easier. But yeah, it's extremely important. Let me show you how important it is to get your talismans, as many of them as possible. Right now, with this Flower of Truth, if I hit this guy here, I'm doing 235 damage with my full setup, okay? If I remove these talismans, which I'll do here in 1 sec, let me go ahead and remove them. Alrighty guys, I removed all the talismans into my backpack, so I was doing that much damage. Let me show you what happens now. As you can see, my damage went down significantly. Literally went over halfway down. Oops, let me kill this. See, 100k compared to 235k. Huge difference. So you want to get as many of those talismans and reforge them so you can get the most damage possible, because it does make a significant difference in your damage output. Okay, on to tip number 4. Alrighty gamers, for tip number 4, we're going to talk about NPC bazaar flipping. So a good example of this is the red mushrooms here. Red mushrooms are selling for about 19.1 coins per each mushroom. So if we go over to the NPC that sells mushrooms right here, you can see that she's selling red mushrooms for 11 coins. So it was 19.1 that they were selling for, so you're making 8 coins on each red mushroom. So you can buy a bunch of these right here. Let me show you here. Up to 10 stacks per day. And then basically what you can do is go over here, right? And let me take out my coins here. So I have 0, right? And you could sell them for 12,886, which is a lot more profitable because I bought those for about 7,600 coins. So I just made an extra 5,000 coins. You could do this with any item that the bazaar price is actually higher than the NPC buy price. So some of these won't work, like carrots won't really work because as you can see here, carrots are selling for, about the same price. So it wouldn't be profitable to buy carrots compared to, let's say, like red mushrooms. So that is the great thing about this, and you can do this every day, and every real life day. You could buy 10 stacks, and you can look at all the items and flip them, and make a decent amount of money, probably like, 50k coins a day. If you're just starting out, that really helps a lot. Alright, now on to tip number 5. Alrighty gamers, for tip number 5, I want to talk about Dandelions. So hear me out here, this is a little bit of a strange one, but there is a minion slot here, known as the flower minion, and the flower minion is not very useful and very slow. So most people hate getting the required materials to get it maxed out. As you can see here, like a tier 3 or tier 4 flower minion costs Dandelions, tier 5 costs 8 enchanted, and it goes all the way up to 8 stacks of enchanted Dandelions, which is very expensive and costs a lot of money. So what you could actually do to make some extra money on the side as well is to go to the builder here, go to the green thumb, and buy 10 stacks of Dandelions each day. So I already have 5 stacks I bought previously on accident, but yeah, look here. We could do this, boom, boom. So we have 4 here, okay? If you do this for up to a stack, you're going to be making potentially up to like 2.6 million coins, right? And it only costed you about 300,000 to actually buy them. So yeah, 350k is approximately the price of that. So you're making like quite a bit more money from this. So it's a great way to also passively make money as well. And the more people you have on your co-op, which is great, the more fast you can do this. So if you have like 4 people on your co-op, you'll be able to do this every 4 days. So that's just something to keep in mind as well that I think is a super great way to make passive income if you're poor and just starting out. All right, on to the next tip. Alrighty gamers, for tip number 6, it's going to be don't farm zealots. Zealots are mobs that spawn in the end, known as Endermen. They have a 1 in 420 chance to drop something known as a summoning eye. And that summoning eye can be sold to the bazaar for about 600,000 coins, or it can be used on dragons. So that's why they're pretty highly valued as an item. However, a lot of people will say this is a good money making method. I believe there is much better, because this is all RNG based. You can go an hour without getting any coins because you didn't get a summoning eye, or you can get lucky and get 4 summoning eyes and make like 2 million coins. So it all depends on your luck, and it's not very consistent. However, if we go back to my island here, with my farms and a high level farming and an elephant pet, you can make somewhere between 4 million coins per hour by doing potatoes, sugarcane, and netherwort. And if you do any of these crops, they should yield you between that amount of price, with netherwort giving you about 4 million, potatoes giving you 2 to 3, and sugarcane giving you around 1 to 2 million depending on your level. So it's a very good method to make per hour. It's way more consistent than summoning eyes, and overall I do recommend getting your farming level up and just being at your island. You can watch a movie or something while you're grinding. There's no pressure, there's no stress, and there's no RNG to it, so you'll make that money consistently. So yes, on to tip number 7. Alrighty gamers, for tip number 7, it's going to be don't always focus the dragon. As you can see, when the dragon just spawned, an ender crystal spawned right next to me, and I wasn't able to break it. But if I was, I would have gotten what is known as a crystal fragment. These crystal fragments can create these things known as catalysts with 8 endstone wrapped around them. These sell on the bazaar for about 200k, and they increase the minion output by 3x. So your minions will produce 3x the materials for 3 hours. Very, very good, and sells for a lot of coins. So whenever you actually see a dragon, I recommend focusing on those pillars because they actually give you way more money than the dragon itself. Because if you go for the dragon, you're probably only going to make a few thousand coins because of the frags not being worth very much. So that is my suggestion when you actually see a drag spawn in an end lobby. Now on to tip number 8. Alrighty gamers, for tip number 8, it's going to be more focused towards early game players, but it's going to be when you are looking for a combat pet in the early game, always go for the common variant of that specific pet. So as you can see here, I have a common Enderman and a rare Enderman. The rare Enderman, it has 3 crit damage and it costs 400 XP or 400 combat XP to level up, while the common Enderman only needs 145 combat XP to level up, and it gives the same crit damage. So the difference between these two is the abilities, which the ability on the rare is not even that good. So it's actually a lot better to get a common Enderman because you want the more crit damage, and it's faster to level up, so you're going to get that crit damage a lot faster. So this works the same way when you're looking at, for an example, Griffin pets. You actually want to get the common one because it's actually going to give you really good stats. So you can see here, here's one for 80k, it's level 77, and you're getting all of these really good buffs, and it would be a lot harder to get this to level 77 if it was like a rare or legendary, but because of this, it was super easy to get to level 77. So yeah, that's tip number 8. Moving on to tip number 9. Alrighty gamers, for tip number 9, we'll be focusing on Cat. Cat is a very unique NPC because what she can actually do for you is level up your lower rarity pets to a higher rarity. So we have a rare Enderman here, level 1, and if we go ahead and click this, it's going to say she will take care of her 6 days, increase the rarity for 9,970 coins. However, if we take a level 5 Enderman, that's the same rarity, same time frame, but it only costs 9,850 coins. So what this means is she actually gives a discount for each level the pet is. So you can cap this out at level 100. It'll be a 30% discount on Cat to upgrade the pet. This can work really well with, for an example, the elephant pet. As you can see here, a legendary elephant pet is selling for 16.3 million coins, which is quite a bit of money, but you could just go ahead and buy a epic rarity elephant, and then go ahead and buy this for 1.4 million coins, and then you can level it up to level 100, and you'll get a 30% discount on the upgrade. The upgrade costs 14 million coins, but it'll actually be lowered to about 9.8 if you get it to level 100, and then go ahead and upgrade it. So it's actually a lot cheaper. You're saving millions of coins just by doing that. It just takes a little bit of time to level it up, but you're going to level up the pet either way. So it's just a good way to save coins. And if you want to speed up the time frame that it takes, which is 10 days to get from epic to legendary, you can always buy a cat flower. These things cost 500 bits, and it skips the process by 1 day, and that you could just keep doing that. So 10 flowers will get you through 10 days, and you'll level up that elephant really quickly. You could also buy the cat flowers on the auction house if you don't have any bits, just so you guys know. So yeah, on to the last tip of the video. Alrighty gamers, for For the last tip of the video, I want to go over Skyblock Gems and how to use them effectively. Now, I know not everyone's going to be using these gems, but if you are, I do want to make sure that you're using your money wisely and not spending it on things that'll make you less Skyblock coins. The booster cookie is one thing you could buy with your gems. They cost 325 gems per booster cookie, and then you could buy bigger packs for cheaper costs. However, if we take a look at the bazaar, they're only selling for about 1.8 million coins per cookie, which is not great for the value that you're spending to buy them. If we take a look at the fire sale, which there is none right now, these are sales that happen for skins periodically throughout Skyblock, and they only sell a limited amount of each skin. So if we take a look at, for an example, the Watcher Guardian skin, there was 1,000 of them sold at 650 Skyblock gems, so about 2 booster cookies worth, right? So 2 booster cookies would be about 3.6 mil, right? If we take a look at that skin, if you bought that Watcher Guardian skin, right? Let me show you how much you would have made if you were kept it for a really long time, like a month. You would have made almost 70 million coins on that skin. So yeah, if you're ever going to use booster, buy real life gems or gems in real life money, go to the fire sale tab and wait for a fire sale to happen, buy a pet skin and save it for a long time until there's not many left. A lot of these skins are not even on the auction house. Like there's a Twilight Tiger skin right here. It was selling for 120 mil. It's not even on the auction house anymore. It's that rare. So we take a look here, highest price. No pet has it. It's an extremely rare skin. Not many people have it. And yeah, it's worth millions of coins, if not maybe even billions. So you definitely want to make sure if you're going to use IRL money to buy gems, make sure that you use it on the skins and not the cookies. Alrighty gamers, but that concludes my top 10 tips every Skyblock player needs to know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and with that being said, take care. I'll see you next time.